Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World. Here today to another breakdown extra. This week, or this episode, we are going to discuss how Cardiff can raise some funds to bolster their first team squad going into pre-season. We have started this transfer window on fire with Callum Chambers and Chris Willock already in, with Alex Robertson, the likes of Casey McAteer, Ali Al-Hamidi, all heavily linked to moves to the Bluebirds and coming to the capital city. So we thought it would be a fun idea just to kind of go through and see where we could realistically raise some funds without leaving us short, because I do think we have got a bit of money to spend on fees and wages and stuff like that. You can work that out from financial fair play and all these types of things. We have got money to spend. We haven't got a bottomless pit. So who can we move on? I'm not going to talk about loans so much. It's going to be who do I think that we should sell to try and get some funds for, and maybe kind of speculate a little bit on how much money we may be able to get for them. So starting with the defenders, the first one up is Marlon Romeo. He's had a few off the field problems over the last 12 months, certainly last season. To me, he wasn't really playing a lot anyway. He was more of a squad player who just kind of filled in here and there. I actually think he's a pretty capable footballer, but he let himself down a lot in the second half of last season, first with his attitude towards not playing, bit of body language and attitude when he did get a chance off the bench or rotations. Then he was omitted from the squad. Of course, we had the infamous and disgusting comments to the police, which he then apologised for and put out a statement. I think it's very likely that he'll be sold. Could we get some money for him? I think when you look on like a lot of websites like Transfer Market and things like this, they rate him at about $1 million. I don't think we're getting anywhere near $1 million for him now due to the off the field problems and the fact that it's probably quite well known that we would like to sell him. So I'm going to say maybe, if we're lucky, about 750 grand. Would be a decent price for Marlon Romeo. Shake hands, say thanks, but it hasn't quite worked out there over the last 12 months for sure. Next up would be so Joe Bagan. I think I would loan. I would try and get him a loan in this country in League One and see how he does with that. I know some people like him, some people think we should sell him. I wouldn't sell him just yet. I wouldn't sell Gutas. I think there's a chance we sell Mark McGuinness. Personally, I wouldn't sell him for under $6.5 million. And if we don't get $6.5 million, I wouldn't sell him. Jamali Collins, I think, stays. Perry NG is an interesting one, isn't he? Because in my opinion, him and Walker Peters are the two best right backs in the Championship last season, by quite a way as well. And I put this question to someone the other. It was Gabriel Sutton the other day. Is if Southampton sold Walker Peters this summer, do you think they would sell him for 5 million? And he was like, absolutely not. You'd be looking at more like 30 to 40. Now, I am not by any means saying that we should sell or ask for that much for Perry NG, but I do believe that we should be looking at more towards 7 or 8 than 5. Some people will agree, some people won't. I suppose the one thing that kind of goes against him in terms of selling price is he's 28, so he's getting on more towards the latter part of his career. But as a footballer, ticks a lot of boxes. He's versatile. He's excellent defensively. Very good on the ball. Can get forward, set pieces. He is an all-round, very good centre back, full back. I think he plays better in the centre as a 3 rather than an out-and-out centre back as a 2. But he's capable of doing it. Excellent right back. Can fill in at left back as well. In my opinion, excellent defender. I would prefer Cardiff City don't sell him, but I believe that if you've got to raise funds, there's an opportunity. I think if you do sell him, it must be absolutely no less than sort of 6 million. But that remains to be seen. Next up, Ryan Wintle didn't go on the pre-season tour. I said back in February time, March, something like that. I always felt like he was going to be the odd one out come the end of the season. It was very clear that the manager Errol Bullock was going to want to get in someone to play alongside Siopis, with Joe Rawls coming towards the end of his career. Manager doesn't seem sold on Turnbull as a number 8. Joel Colwell's not quite ready yet, the youngster. But Joe Rawls, new contract. Siopis is the manager's guy. Turnbull's only come in January. Joel Colwell's a younger, and then you've got Ramsey and Colwell as well. So I think Ryan Wintle was always the odd one out. I think it didn't help him in terms of if he wanted to stay at Cardiff by his attitude, behaviour during that Rotherham game at the end of the season where we got absolutely stuffed and he's laughing and joking. As an out-and-out defensive midfielder, I think he's a great option, and I think if he was just a backup to Siopis and he was happy with that, playing the odd game, he'd be a decent enough option. But I think realistically, Eli King can kind of be that backup to Siopis. He didn't go on the pre-season tour, Ryan Wintle. I think I hypothesise that maybe that Rotherham game was the thing which tipped it over the edge. But he was always kind of the odd one out in terms of making room for a new midfielder. So I believe that we will sell him. And I believe that you could probably get maybe 1 to 1.5 million for Ryan Wintle, and I think that's good. I also think he could be, for the right team in the Championship or League One, could be a tremendous signing. Because he's got something about him. He's not he's not a terrible player. Joe Rawls, Aaron Ramsey, Callum O'Dowda, not going anywhere. David Turnbull, not going anywhere. Siopis, not going anywhere. Eli King is an interesting one. Had a real good loan last season in Scotland. By all accounts, he's doing quite well. Since he's got a good attitude and stuff like that. The one, I guess, issue at the moment is I believe he's not fit. He's carrying an injury, so he hasn't taken part in pre-season too much. He's 21 years old, the Welshman, and I think as a backup to Siopis, I think he's pretty good. So I'd probably hold on to him this year and keep him part of the first team squad. He can be your Siopis like-for-like backup, and it's an opportunity for him to show what he can do. Ruben wouldn't sell. Rena Mota, it's an odd one. I got to be honest, because obviously with I think people were shocked that Wintle didn't go on the tour, but equally as shocked that Rena Mota did go on the tour. However, I think he kind of fills that Romeo role where he can play right back, he can play defensive midfield, centre midfield. He can play a range of positions. I would sell him. I don't think we'll get a great deal of money for him, but I also don't really see the benefit of keeping him, if I'm being honest. It's not that I think he's, an awful player. I just don't think he's up to the standard of squad that we're building now. He is versatile, Zimbabwe international, can play a range of positions, but yet for me, not the one. In terms of money in, I think we bought him for about 800 grand. I don't think you're getting that back. I think if you could get 500 grand, you'd be laughing, to be quite honest. Again, could be a good signing for someone in League One, etc. Attacking wise, obviously Chris Willock's just come in. Kina Tete, I would loan. However, I know a lot of people would sell, and it would free up that number 9 shirt for a new striker. Personally, I would loan Kina Tete, but let's hypothesize and say we could sell him for some cash. He's 22, good age, out and out, number 9, got a bit of something about him. He is technically very good, came through Spurs. So I guess the question is how much would you get for him? On transfer market, he's he's sort of valued at just over €1 million. 750 grand you maybe get for Tete. Like I said, I would loan him and try and make it the right loan that you could ensure as best you can, at least, that he plays 30-40 games, and if he scores a few goals in League One, all the better. Yaku Mete, this might surprise a few. Been a little bit underwhelmed by Mete since he's come in. I was really excited when we signed him because he always seemed to score against us. Quite versatile, can play left, can play right, can play through the middle. I do quite like him. I liked him as a player before he came to Cardiff, and then all of a sudden he seems to have fallen off a cliff. He might come back this year and show what he's capable of, because I do think he's a capable of way more than what he showed at Cardiff last year. Thought he was quite poor, but Cardiff generally were quite poor in the attacking areas. So did he suffer? You know, I mentioned on a video recently that Ruben Colwell suffered from the players around him, the lack of movement, things like that. You know, did Mate suffer from something similar? And when we get these attacking options, these creative options in this summer, will he then benefit from it? I don't think he fits in with what Errol Bullett's making, is building at the moment. You've got Willock, Isaac Davis, Colwell, Ramsey, Ollie Tanner. You've got Cian Ashford. We're going to probably have another winger like a Casey McAteer or someone like that, or even a Sarmiento, which would be mental. Sarmiento. Then you add in your new striker. It's difficult to see where he fits in, because I think what Bullett's trying to do is build a squad of quality, creative footballers in the attacking areas, mixed with youth and pace. And I just don't see where he fits in. If you could recoup your money, we had him on a free transfer, but I think if you could get like a sort of 750 million for him, probably take it, to be honest with you, and just accept that sometimes, you know, we talked a lot recently about you know, sometimes it's just the right player at the right club and it's a good fit, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Maybe that's the case with Yakou Mate. I would loan Kieran Evans, keep Ollie Tanner. At the moment, as we stand, I would keep Isaac Davis. I think he can be a good option as a backup number 9, but it can also play wide. Cian Ashford, I think I'm keeping. Maybe a short-term loan with like a core-back option, but I'd probably keep him. I think he's excellent, and I think his pace is something that I'd like off the bench. And then finally, Callum Robinson. I don't think many people will be shocked to say that I would probably sell him. I think you can get some decent money for him. I think also getting his wages off the wage bill would be massive. Rumoured to be on quite big wages. Look, he's 29 as well, and we're building quite a young squad. Hasn't quite worked for him at Cardiff for whatever reason. He is a very capable footballer who, by all accounts, has come back this pre-season with a phenomenal attitude. My question is, does he fit in what we're trying to build? Will he throw his toys out the pram if he's not playing again and cause a bit of an issue in the dressing room? Or is it better to just move on? I think you can get 1.5 million for him, so I would sell him I think you can get a better player who is more bought into what Errol Bullett is trying to do. But I'm interested in what you guys think. Do you disagree with any of those kind of people I said I would sell? I think you could bring in, that's bringing in a good few million there. And to clarify, like with McGuinness and NG, everyone's got a price. I don't want to sell either of those two or Ruben Colwell, but let's be realistic. All three of them have a price. My price for each one would be McGuinness no less than 6.5 million. I would try to get it to 7, because you've got to give a percentage to Arsenal. Perry NG, I would probably about the same. Ruben Colwell, I wouldn't sell for less than 10 million. People will agree, people will disagree, but that's my theory. I would like to see Ruben stay for another year. I'd like to see NG and McGuinness stay for another year, if I'm honest, because with what Errol Bullett is building this summer, keeping those young and experienced players is vital to what he's doing, and I think we could be in for a special season, guys. Got to be honest. But I'm very optimistic at the moment. That could change in a week or two. Let's see how we go. Tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, share all the content. Let your Cardiff City friends know that we are doing Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Nice one.